We're not on there.
Guys, we got 8 seconds.
Okay.
Oh, boy, the monitors can be on?
All right. Everybody, sit up straight. Get slumping down in the sofa. Everybody can hear you.
Okay.
All right.
Now, where's the camera?
Where's the can't work?
We're on live? Yep. Okay, there's no monitor, Jacob.
Okay, I'll turn it on.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bob Diabney, your host. Hello, Merry Christmas, everybody. We come to your homes, your 500,000 homes with a lot of people to talk to y'all about the human condition that we all go through and also mental illness that I have, and they can be pretty heavy at times. And this is the Christmas holidays where a lot of things are going on, so bear in mind we're going to give y'all a good show. To my left is a distinguished and notable computer guru, as Denver Noble calls him. Richard Phelps knows all about, if you have trouble with your computer, this is the guy to go to. Next to him is a beautiful and lovely inside and out Miss Nellie Harrington.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And Nellie's going to be doing some reading and singing. And next to her is the distinguished also Carl Davies. And why is Carl Davies?
Thank you very much. Hello.
And we have two guests tonight, two musicians. I don't think y'all can see them right now, but they're Jason Harrington and Mark Moore, and they're going to be playing tonight. Welcome, fellas.
Thanks for coming.
Before we start the show, do we have a monitor, or Jacob took off?
Yeah, I think we have.
Okay, the monitor would help us do the show.
I mean, you're there. You know what you look like.
It's just that.
I don't know how to turn the monitor.
Oh, probably right in the way, too.
Okay, anyway, we'll just go on. Anyway, before we start, we always start in prayer, and I would like to pray for my friends Jerry the Plantis and Carol, who are good friends. Also for Toby Bertrand, who also is a good friend. For my friend Jeremy Chotney, whose dad is sick, Charlie Chotney. I think we asked for prayers for him. And some prayers for Vince Bro, the power lifter like myself, but eons ahead of me in world records and all that. He's a good guy. Can you think of it? Richard's mother.
Yes.
We asked for prayers for Richard's mother.
Yeah, I'd like to go see her January, February. Right now, travel is just totally been
Said no
disrupted by
signal.
Northeaster.
They came up
Yeah.
and said no signal.
They canceled 2,500 flights.
They canceled 2,500
There was
flights.
a big Northeaster snowstorm in the east I just heard about.
Yeah,
So it's been a little crazy for traveling. Just travel safety for everybody.
yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, these are the Christmas holidays. They're probably the most stressful time of the year. Thank you, Jake. And we would also like to welcome Brandon. Come say hello. Nellie's son, Brandon Lantier. We're glad to have you back, Brandon.
Hey, Bob.
Brandon's
He's pushing all those buttons back there.
Brandon's a button pusher.
And once again, we're trying to deal with some difficulties, so we'll get you set up as soon as we can.
Will we be able to show any of the film of Jamie?
We're working on it right now.
This is a tribute to Jamie Ballou, but like last week, we couldn't show it, so I guess we won't be able to show it again tonight. So me and Richard are going to talk about Jacob. Jamie. But before we do, let me read some of this. This is for the NAMI support groups. F for the family of people with mental conditions. It's all done at the Lutheran Church, headed by Denver and Rosen Nobles. Rosen heads the family of people with mental condition, and also Karen Dubois, 654-2138. And then for the connection, which me and this guy goes to, 849-6765 at the First Lutheran Church behind Academy.
At 301 West Farrell Road. It's a little hard to see at dark, but that should get you there.
And also there's a support group in New Iberia that has formed with Sarah Gary, I think her name is.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, anyway, so anyway, if somebody's interested in the support group, they can also call Rose and Nobles at 849-6765, and these are wonderful people, really good people. So, okay, now we were going to start on the show about Jamie Ballou and show some film. And like I wasn't sure if this was going to happen, so I called Miss Jackie, and Miss Jackie, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It may.
It's
So
taking
me and Richard will talk about Jamie.
It's taking time to load.
Yeah, Jamie and I were best friends. I met Jamie about 10 years ago, and Jamie became my very best, my a soul brother. We were good friends. Jamie had his issues, I had my issues, and we worked them out together and took care of each other. And Jamie is the one that was with me when I started this show 10 years ago, and I was the straight man, and Jamie was the comedian.
I remember.
And you remember that, Richard?
I remember he could talk computer stuff around my head, and I learned a lot from him.
Yeah.
I wish he could have been there to help me today. He could probably fixed it.
Yeah, Jamie was a computer engineer, brilliant guy. When Jamie would talk to my friend Keith Guidro about computers and Richard, it was like they were talking Hebrew, and I didn't understand anything they were talking about.
Yeah.
I'm more illiterate than a 5-year-old when it comes to computers. But then again, 5-year-olds are like PhDs today when it comes to computers. So I'm out of my class. But but talking about class, Jamie was a class by himself. Highly intelligent, yet he could talk to anybody on the same level as them. Very humble person. He'll talk to a street person on the same level as him. Not many people can do that. Did you notice that about him, Richard?
A lot.
You can do that too,
He
Richard.
promoted NAMI a lot and what we do, no matter what, and we all miss him.
Yeah, I miss him a lot. It used to be. We used to have parties at my house when I had my house before I lost it to divorce. We would go do our television show, and I always would study with books and everything how to do the show, and me and Jamie would do it, and people liked it. When we'd go out in public and people would say, "Look, there's Bob and Jamie,"
Oh, yeah.
and they still say Bob, and they recognize y'all too, huh, Nellie?
Oh, I know.
When y'all go out, huh, Nellie?
Yes, they do.
How does that feel?
It feels really
It
great.
feels really good.
To
Yeah,
get
you look really-
confirmation that we're doing something that people really appreciate.
Yeah, and we were so grateful for where we had come in our recovery that we wanted to help people out there that are hurting. The mentally challenged, the mentally ill like us. Jamie was schizoaffective. Before Jamie got sick, he was a computer engineer in San Diego. Had a big house on the beach. And he would surf every morning. Jamie was a good surfer. He had surfed in Fiji, New Zealand, all over the world. And then his company, who respected him tremendously, and he was so good where he worked, he was making 6-figure incomes. And his company was sending him to Tokyo, flying to Tokyo to help them with their troubleshoot their security system. That's how smart this guy was, and yet he could talk to the average or the lowly on the same level. That's incredible humility.
I have friends
he
that
was
might
a good
have
guy.
I have friends that might actually have known him.
You might have.
I'm going to check tonight.
Yeah, and we can show him the film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a minute to key it up. And I'll let
Okay,
you know.
we'll be able to show some of the film. I miss him. He passed away during the holiday season. unfortunately. And I think we'll be able to show a film clip of it, thanks to Brandon and Jacob, you know. Yeah, here we go. Good evening.
Oh, this is
an interview first.
And I'm here with my co-host and associate producer Richard Phelps, and we'll be talking about Jamie Ballou. This is a tribute to Jamie Ballou, who was the guy that started the show AOC 10 years ago with me, and has now passed on. You remember Jamie, Richard?
I sure do. I wasn't co-host at the time. I was assistant director. I was back in the old AOC studio on 124 East Main. And back then I could run all the analog stuff. And I noticed Jamie would do a really good job with Bob about raising awareness about mental health issues, because it's one of the last disabilities to have a stigma attached to it. And Jamie was very brilliant. He was a computer programmer, IQ of 160. And he had his good days and bad days. Sometimes he wouldn't come to the show, other times he would, but he was always an advocate for those with mental health issues.
Yeah, Jamie was, Jamie was my very, like I've said before, Jamie was my very best friend. Like, in my 50s, you might find me, Jamie, and another buddy of ours, Josh, riding around at 3 in the morning in the countryside, where most guys my age went to bed at 9 o'clock, ate their cookies and oatmeal, and went to bed at 9 o'clock. Here I was with Jamie, and then also Josh, riding around in the country like teenagers, you know. Jamie was a good guy. And one thing that really impressed me about Jamie, he could talk to anybody on their level. You know, he was super smart, but he wasn't cocky. He didn't think he was better or anything, you know. So, you have anything else to say?
Well, we all miss him. It's now been 5 years since he passed on. His mother, Jackie Ballou, still underwrites our shows. She believes in what we're doing. So we just want to honor his memory tonight. It will have been 5 years, Christmas week of 2009, when he passed on. It was one of the hardest funerals to go to, but we all had positive memories about him to share with his mom. And I know Christmases are hard on her, so we just try at this time of year give her a little extra support.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Richard, associate producer. Thank you, ladies. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bob Bienvenu, and I'm over here at AOC with the station director, the big wheel, the number one, uno, the backbone of AOC, Mr. Ed Bowie, one of the nicest guys I've ever met. And we're here to ask him a few words about Jamie Ballou. This is a tribute show to Jamie, who was one of the starters of AOC, one of the inventors of AOC with me. Not AOC, with Inside the Mental Health, yes. Well, it's a glitch, but this is real, so it doesn't matter. We'll keep on showing. So what did you think about Jamie, Ed?
I think about Jamie a lot still. He's been gone quite a while now, and when you reach a certain age, you start to lose people, and some of them you lose them, and you say, well, that was great, and then you think about them every now and then. And then some that really had an amazing impact in a short amount of time. And I only saw Jamie once a week for about 52 weeks a year for 3 or 4 years. So I would see him with some regularity, but that was while he was doing the show. So we didn't really sit around and shoot the breeze or anything.
Yeah.
But we clicked and we bonded, and it had an impact on me then to know him, because he inspired me in a lot of ways because he was so pure of heart.
Yeah, Jamie had a pure heart.
He had a totally pure heart, kind of like you.
Well,
I refer to you as a dumbass in a loving way. But you have a pure heart, and so did Jamie. Just a good soul kind of person. And he took some beatings for his mental illness, and that bothered him. He didn't like the way he perceived that people handle that with him. And so that's why he and this guy started a program that I consider one of AOC's most important insight into mental health, because it's a tough issue to talk about And when you live with it, it's tough to live with it and live with people who don't understand it. So props to Jamie. Since I got the floor, and I had a lot of coffee this morning, I flashback on the day that you and Jamie came to the very first orientation.
I remember that.
To get a program like AOC, you've got to come in, you go to an orientation program. And it's this particular night there was 8 or 10 people in a room, and part of the process is, why are you here? And the first guy says, well, my wife brought me to do, yada yada. And then I came to Bob, and you can tell he's got a loud voice. He spoke up and said, we're here to do a show about mental illness. We want to tell people what's going on. And I said, well, that's groovy. And then I went to the next guy, who was Jamie, and Jamie was kind of, yeah, we kind of want to do a show. And I said, well, this is going to be an interesting pair, these two, because I got the loud one, and I got the one that doesn't want to talk. I went around the rest of the room, and I honestly didn't think they would ever come back. But then the next week, they came in, and I don't even remember if you took classes or how you learned to do the program, or all I remember is the next thing I know, these two guys are doing a program about mental illness with live call-ins and professionals. The whole shebang is real good. And I credit not just Jamie, because he didn't. It would not have happened without Jamie. Let's just put it that way.
Wouldn't have.
It's Bob's show. It was Bob's show then, but it would not have happened without Jamie. No question about it. See, and I miss him. I don't miss him like you do, I'm sure, because
No, I missed him.
yeah, you two were shared a soul in a regard, and he had a heart and a soul. Really, he was just a good guy.
He was
just
a good guy.
person. I know a lot of people alike, and they're just not that good. This is just a good person, kind of lamb-like, not sheep at all, but like a lamb. A real good person, and that's my story on Jamie.
Well, thank you, Ed. And I would like to say AOC has been a great program for the community of Lafayette. And of course, Ed Bowie in the lean years was the backbone. I will give you kudos for that.
You said my name and lean in the same sentence, so right off the bat, that's perfect. Whatever you said, all I heard was Ed Bowie and lean.
Yeah.
And I've never been lean in my life, so thank you for that.
Thank you, Ed.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks to the cameraman. While we're still rolling, he's hand-holding. I know better than that, but this is their show, so I disapprove of the shakiness of this, but the sentiment is no less sincere. Props to Jamie Billard.
Thank you. Okay, Rich. Wait.
2,
Okay.
well, damn it. 1, 2, 3, rolling.
Hi, I'm Bob Bienvenu. I'm producer of Insight into Mental Health with AOC, Acadian Open Channel. And right here we have one of their employees, Jacob White, who is a class act guy, besides being a level genius. And since this is December, and it is a year that my original co-host and inventor of AOC with me, Jamie Ballou, passed away, and this is a tribute to Jamie. We do it every December when he passed away. So I'm here with Jacob, who knew Jamie and was friends with Jamie. So what do you think about Jamie? When
He was fun, man. He was the liveliest one on y'all's show.
I know, man.
He would always cut up, and then you'd have to bring him,
Yeah, it was like I was the straight man, and he was the instigator.
Yeah.
And
He was Costello, and you were Abbott.
that's right. And Jamie was a computer engineer. Y'all talked about computers, huh?
He was a whiz. He knew all kinds of stuff about computers. But I know he struggled. He had a job in California for a while, but his mental illness got the better of him, and he had to move back home.
Yeah, he had to move back home, and that's where he met us in the support group with Denver Nobles, and y'all have heard us talk about Denver Nobles. And Jamie was the very best friend. You talked about true friends. Jamie was a true friend of mine. He was the very best friend I ever had in my life, and I've had some close friends. And this is a tribute to Jamie, and he was a great guy. Jamie, he could talk to anybody, and as brilliant as he was humble, and he could talk to people like you, Jacob, on any level, And me too, I could talk to people on any level. So anyway, this is a tribute to Jamie, and we thank you, Jacob.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. And thanks to Jamie. We will always remember him.
We will always remember. Thank you.
that some of the interviews. Unfortunately, we can't show a film clip of Jamie. That's we were hoping to do, but life has many challenges and roads to travel, and sometimes the roads wind too far one way or another. So I apologize for that, but those are some interviews of some guys that liked Jamie and respected Jamie. And I thank you all. Like I said, Jamie was a really humble guy, and he was a really good guy, and I could always count on him, and he is surely missed, And Jamie's mother, Miss Jackie Ballou, has been a tremendous friend to me, and a tremendous help to AOC. She's our underwriter for the show. Hi, Miss Jackie.
Hi,
I
Miss
love
Jackie.
you to death. Nellie met Miss Jackie. Carl never met Miss Jackie, but she is a sweet, sweet lady. She's been working with the church for I don't know how many, 30 years or so long.
United Christian Outreach.
Yeah.
She's helped a lot of people.
Yeah, Miss Jackie has helped a lot of people. Anyway, Miss Jackie, I'm sorry we can't show any film. We're going to try to show a picture of Jamie later on, and that's our tribute to the very best friend I ever had. I hope I get some more. Richard and Nellie have been shown to be good friends of mine. Carl's coming along too, so, And then I would also like to say, before we get the musicians on, to Denver Nobles and Rosalind Noble, I love y'all to death. I think y'all are fantastic people. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. I hope everything will be smoothed out. And to start off, we would like to introduce our two musicians, Jason Harrington and Mark Moe. And we're gonna, there they are, and y'all ready to play? What y'all gonna play?
We're gonna do a couple of my songs. First one's something called Billy.
Okay.
Billy, plan to do that rainbow. Can't you see it's hanging too low to keep you high? Hey, Billy, where you think you gone my raincoat? Don't you know that it's too old to keep you dry? If you're throwing stones into that well, I have some shell you could try. And if you're flying out across that sea, you can count on me to make it right. Hey, Billy, plan to do that teacup? Well, yeah, you could drink it up, but it won't treat you right. Hey, Billy, we think you're fooling with your cute lines. Your ruby slippers ain't cheap wine. Your red hair and your green eyes. If you're spending coins at home again, I have some change. you could try. And if you're flipping nickels at the screen, you should keep it clean and just stay fine. Billy, wait, what you planning on doing today? If you got time, would you drop a line my way? 'Cause I got nothing to do, sit around here and drink on you, try to figure out all the right words to say. Hey, Billy, where you think you're going in your red road? You can pull it to your earlobe. I ain't gonna keep you from the cold. Hey, Billy, ain't gonna be no dancing in your new shoe. You can't win, but you can't lose. You're tired of it and you let it loose.
Incredible.
That is Jason Harrington and Mark Moore. Would you like to play another one?
We sure can. So
Okay.
I'd like to thank you too for having us, Bob.
Oh, we're
Thank you,
glad,
Nellie,
always
for
glad to
inviting us.
have you. You know,
Good to
y'all,
see you
y'all-
again, Carl.
yeah,
Yeah, we thank y'all for coming on such
y'all
short
class
notice.
act guys. We
Oh,
appreciate it.
Incredible musician.
Incredible musicians.
Is this an original that you're gonna play?
It is. This is kind of a experimental song.
Awesome.
It's written about from the point of view of a bird who leaves the city to find a new place to be and ends up in the dump in Vermilion Parish. And as far as I know, I'm pretty sure it's a true story. Let's see. Slicing through the altitude, aiming for the sun. Blisters on my wrinkled feet will soon be all but gone. Flapping towards the trapdoor light, ever gazing down. Tire tracked electric lines that grid the patterned ground. When I was just a little bird in my mama's nest, never knew the world outside would offer such unrest. Now I see those crippled dreams are only dreams at best. When I heard the news, I learned I flew and I quickly headed west. spots across the space of littered hallowed ground. A reservation now reclaimed by all who circled round. A feathered flock of tattered stock, all some sorrow bound. I let the wind escape my wings, laid my body down. And I sing, thank God for this landfill. Finally a place to land. Fill my beating belly with plastic colored sand. But I won't fall down on my knees, 'cause I know where I stand. I'm back, yes I'm back. I'm back where I began. Bitterness fill my feathered heart. Truth be told, the streets of gold amid these littered parks. There's treasures in the trash that bloom beneath the glistening stars. From sunset to dawn appears this piece of land desire. And we sing, thank God for this landfill. Finally a place to land. Fill my beating belly with plastic colored sand. But I won't fall down on my knees, 'cause I know where I stand. I'm back, yes I'm back. I'm back where I began. I'm back, yes, I'm back. I'm back where I began.
Awesome. You wrote that, Jason?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Wow.
sir.
Are you trying to get it produced or
Not sure.
no?
It's possible. We have a few. We just put out an album recently with some new songs on it.
Okay.
So we've been kind of getting some things out here and there lately. Just put out something called In Terms of Major Roots with a few new tunes on it. And
Okay. Would y'all like to play another song?
sure, we can do that.
And where do y'all perform?
We do a lot at the Blue Dog Cafe, the Armosphere, Blue Moon Saloon, lots of places in and around town.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Gonna do Intangible? This is a song called Intangible. Come back on your own. You find me here with a tangled bone, a tangled fiend with a tangled Jones, and a star-spangled gold, southern belle, dirty, dirty water sang to me from the river below. Ain't a lot I could see. pacified as passing ocean. And I'm a cheap contribution to the living room wall. When you leave, when you go, you leave me here tangible. A little distant, a little more rose, a little difficult to diagnose. When you come back on your own, you're gonna find me here, girl, but you're gone too long. I'll be long down the river, carrying on down the line, hanging way down low. Southern bed, dirty, dirty water sang to me from the river below. There ain't a lot I can say, pacified as passing ocean. And I'm a cheap contribution to the living room wall. I need the rain, I need sunshine when I feel pain. I need your skin, but I need your brain too. 'Cause when you leave, when you go, you leave me here tangible. A little distorted, a little more rose, a little difficult to diagnose.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank you so much for having us.
That's, Mark Moe and Jason Harrington. Would y'all like to come sit with us?
Actually, we're gonna kind of hang tight. I think we gotta get moving pretty soon.
Okay, okay.
But we sure appreciate
Okay.
it.
Okay, thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
That's Jason Harrington and Mark Moe.
We'd like to thank them
ladies
for
and
coming
gentlemen,
out last minute and for, offering up their amazing talent and giving service to uplift us with their beautiful music. Thank y'all so much.
Thank y'all so much.
Where y'all playing tonight?
We have a private thing that we have to get to that starts in about
Thank
30
y'all.
minutes.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
coming.
much.
I'll make sure that y'all get a recording of it,
Oh, that'd be great.
DVD.
That'd be great.
So y'all have
We'd
it.
like to get a CD of your all stuff. How can we?
Well, I can make sure that happens.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Thank
Thank
y'all
you.
so much.
Okay, we're back. If y'all look at the fella in the background, if y'all don't know who that is my friend Jamie Ballou, who started Insight with me 10 years ago. And Jamie is surely missed. He was a good fella. And I think we did a good tribute to him. I thank Ed, Richard, and Jacob for giving some good insight into what kind of guy Jamie was. And of course, we love Jamie to death, and we will give him a tribute every year at this time. And I would like to say this is the Christmas season. This is the holiday season. And before I go on, I would like to say that like my book that I've been talking about will probably come out in January. So I'm very proud of it. It's formatted now, and the guy that formatted is working on the jacket cover now. So it'll be out soon. And I would like to read, like through Nellie's urging, I would like to read a little bit from my book. This is scattered around, and this comes when I was a hippie. One day in February, a bunch of us climbed into Melvin's car and drove to New Orleans for Mardi Gras and had quite an experience. We watched parades and fought the crowds on Bourbon Street, where if you lifted up your legs, you would be carried along with the crowd. We had a bunch of mescaline barrels and ate them like M&Ms. When we would start coming down, we ate some more, just like eating candy. It was a long time ago. I like that car. But I remember staying one night in the dorm room of some guys who were attending the University of New Orleans. I think, but I don't remember the particulars. I do remember all of us sitting in Jackson Square. It was Possum, Rusty, Melvin, and another friend, Andrew, and I. We were sitting on the grass, loaded on mescaline, with hundreds of hippies and college kids, Richard. Then we went down to Canal Street to watch the parades. I remember tripping and looking at a popcorn machine and hallucinating to it, thinking that I was in some sort of weird dream and that nothing I saw was real. I was very much afraid and anxious, probably due to the illness, the drugs, the hallucinations, and the thousands of people everywhere. I was very much overwhelmed. And while looking at the popcorn machine, an eerie feeling came over me. I passed out right on Canal Street. My friends helped me up and I came to and was all right. We partied in New Orleans all weekend until Tuesday and drove back the next day. Another time as a hippie, there was a concert we wanted to go to but didn't have any money. So Rusty decided to get his shotgun and his dad's rifle and sell them to get money for concert tickets. To this day, I don't remember where the concert was or what bands were playing, but we wanted to go and groove out. Anyway, another friend, Chuck, had a Volkswagen, and the guns were in it. Chuck, my cousin Claudia, another friend Lonnie, and I were in the car when we were stopped by the chief of police who wanted to know why we had the guns. We told them we were going to sell them to go to a concert. They made us all get out of the car and brought Lonnie to jail. He was busted. We got him out, but that was some of the more trouble we had with the police while we were hippies. Another time, Possum, Rusty, his brother, and his wife, and Rusty's girlfriend were all at the pavilion in the state park tripping and doing weed with me. I remember watching the fire we had made in the fireplace move from one side of the room to the other. I also remember walking with Possum in the park about 2 o'clock in the morning, tripping on the trees and Spanish moss. He said that he could see grapes in the trees. I got jealous of him because I too wanted to see grapes in the trees, but I didn't see them. We ended the night lying on top of the roof of the pavilion, stoned out of our minds, talking about aliens and space and astral projection and how Earth might just be a molecule on someone's hand, and many other outlandish discussions. We were passing the joint to each other while we were talking. The rest of our friends were on the ground. Possum was talking to me, and when he turned to look at me, I wasn't there. I think he got scared and started calling my name. I said to him, "Here I am." I had slipped off the pavilion and landed on the ground. Everyone was scared I was hurt, but when I told them I was okay, everyone got a big laugh. I think when Possum didn't see me, he may have thought that I was abducted by aliens.
10 minutes.
Anyway, that's all I have to say about my book. We're going to get Nellie to do her...
Carl.
Okay, Carl. Carl is going to talk about mushrooms. Carl is an avid grower of mushrooms and proponent of mushrooms.
And a hunter of mushrooms, yes. First thing I'd like to do, especially if Brandon can get that graphic up on the screen, is give you information about where you can find out about mushrooms. The first one is gsmyco.org, and that's the local chapter of the Gulf States Mycological Society. So if you want to join, you just go to gsmyco.org and you can join from there. And the other place, if you want massive amounts of information, is mushroomexpert.com. That's everything you ever wanted to know about individual mushrooms and way, way more than that. And mushrooms are called mycorrhizal, which is a fancy word to say that they are beneficial to the trees that they grow around. Approximately 85% of all plants require mycorrhizal relationships to survive. Different mushrooms have different symbiotic relationships with different kinds and types of trees. The typical difference being between hardwoods and softwoods, although some mushrooms are found around both of them. Whether or not you go to the trouble of finding out what kind of mushroom you might have, and whether or not you ever partake of that wild mushroom does not matter. What matters is that you recognize and realize that most mushrooms form symbiotic relationships with nearly all kinds of trees and plants. And if the mycelium becomes compromised, which is sort of like the root system of the mushrooms, you also adversely affect the trees and plants growing in that vicinity. I joined the Gulf States Mycological Society 3 or 4 years ago and officially became an amateur mycologist, although I've had an interest in mushrooms for much longer than that. Since that time, I found out that there are approximately 2 million different kinds of mushrooms, and only about 150,000 have been cataloged. I also discovered that mushrooms were much more like mammals than like plants, in that they use oxygen and give off carbon dioxide like most animal life, including humans. Mushrooms were originally considered to be a plant, but after careful examination, it was found that they are indeed not and have been reclassified. The mushroom that I will be starting with on the next segment is considered by many to be the king of mushroom. The Latin name is Ganoderma lucidum, and it is called the lingxi or reishi mushroom. This mushroom was revered as the mushroom of immortality by the ancient Chinese. It was rumored that if someone used this mushroom faithfully, they would never die. Since I was not there, I am unable to comment on how well that worked out for them. In fact, several thousand years ago in China, all reishi mushrooms were considered the property of the emperor. And if anyone was caught stealing one, it is rumored that they lost their hand.
Yes.
Today, this same mushroom is credited in Eastern medicine with being able to treat all manner of ills, and is more recently used as an additive to higher-end coffees. Tinctures and decoction of reishi have been used for centuries for many different maladies, and their use is increasing daily and is considered another tool in the arsenal against disease. On the next segment, I will read excerpts from the reishi book by Terry Willard that will document many of these treatments and their successes. Now, a disclaimer here is always consult your doctor before beginning any kind of treatment. We know that.
Yeah, or
Thank you, Carl.
ingesting any kind of mushroom.
I have one more little
one
thing
more,
that,
okay.
that I need to do for Nellie here.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
One of the last times I was on here, I told you how I was losing weight with Nellie's cooking, and I want to report that it still continues. I am currently down to 190 pounds,
Cool.
and it is going farther all the time, and this is while I am eating plenty of food. We seem to be doing this not by eating any meat and staying completely gluten-free. That's it. It's like magic, and the weight keeps falling off, and I have noticed major changes in the way my clothes fit. Just the other day, Dr. J, a chiropractor friend of mine, said it looked like I had lost 100 pounds. I said, no, just 25 or 30, but thanks anyway. He said that maybe he should start eating Nellie's food also. This has changed my life, and once again I say, kudos to Nellie.
Carl, let me ask you, how has taken Nellie's diet, and I'll attest, and with Nellie's knowledge of food and everything, it's amazing the changes that have happened to me while I watched the show.
Yeah, and what I've been watching happen, I lost the weight right in a hurry, and then my body just kept changing, and everything kept changing. I mean, I'm metamorphosing into another person.
What about your mind and everything? Is it clearing up? My mind is clearing up tremendously.
He said he was getting his strength back too.
And I'm getting my strength back, and I'm becoming alive again.
Oh, thank you, Carl. You see, this is about like Nellie is. Let me read something about Nellie. No, where is my stuff? I got it somewhere.
It's the folded paper.
Okay. This is a little bit about Nellie. Thank you, Carl.
Yes, no problem.
Okay.
Nellie is an amazing person. Nellie Harrington is a natural health and well-being facilitator. Nellie is also a vocalist as well as a performing artist. And this is about mental health too, you know. Like what Carl said about the mushroom, that's good for mental health and everything.
Yes.
The musicians are there for good health, mental health. Nellie is also a vocalist as well as a performing artist. Nellie was really happy when she was invited to be filmed at AOC for their telequest, in which she created a special musical interactive production for children and families. That sparked Nellie's interest and love for live TV in appearance, for she realized the incredible power of media, and she is here today for that. Let me read some of Nellie's, what Nellie experienced. Nellie's experience and references include working with a medical doctor of 25 years with referrals to her patients. A chiropractor was so happy with her work, he referred his wife in clinic with a top breast cancer doctor in ICU with a baby, utilizing energetic-based relaxation and stress management tools and experiences. Nellie encourages working non-forced pathology to natural well-being. Nellie,
Pathways. Non-forced pathways to encourage the body for self-healing.
and Nellie would like to read some stuff. Go ahead.
I love the song. I'm sure that all of you know this song that I'm talking about, Beautiful Dreamer.
Okay.
And I was actually looking for a version of it on the internet by Mandy Barnett, and it's one of my favorites. And when I typed in Beautiful Dreamer, I heard this, sorry, I'm going to get emotional here. I heard this voice say, become a beautiful dreamer. Mm-hmm. It was like God was speaking to me. And I didn't understand in the beginning, but then this movie came up, and the name of it was Beautiful Dreamer. And I watched the movie, and it brought home some realizations for me to understand a lot of elements in my life and a lot of my behavior. And it was about war and about post-traumatic stress disorder, and how people suffer from this trauma and how it affects them. And I realized from watching the movie, it was an incredible movie. If y'all get a chance to watch, it's called Beautiful Dreamer, and it really is a great tribute to the men and the people that served during the time. Exactly. And it was a true story about the bombers, and I learned so much about the post-traumatic stress disorder. And it actually, believe it or not, recognized some of my own behavior in there from being passed down through the generations. And I realized how we are also passing it down to our children, because when you're not aware of how it affects you. But it was such a power to understand how this had not only affected our fathers, but their fathers, and now how it's affecting us, and not only us, but our children. And this is the power of understanding. This is the power of knowledge. And when God showed this to me, it really was a key to help me understand how this works. And this was just something I wanted to do. This came from the Anxiety and Depression Association of America. Is that okay to say that? And it says, post-traumatic stress disorder is diagnosed after a person experiences symptoms for at least 1 month following a traumatic event. Some of those may be re-experiencing the trauma through intrusive and distressing recollections of the event, flashbacks, and nightmares, emotional numbness and avoidance of places, people, and activities that are reminders of the trauma. And I just want to quickly, because we're almost out of time, I'd just like to pay this tribute very quickly by just singing a little piece, and then Bob, you're going to finish out with something you wanted to talk about really quickly. Beautiful dreamer, wake unto me, starlight and dewdrops, I'm sorry, I can't, are waiting for thee. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Nellie is a very sweet, emotional, caring, empathetic person.
So
And
Bob, you wanted to finish out talking
Yeah.
about depression in the holidays. That's
I
what
would
you
like to say, these are tough times, stressful times for everybody during the holidays, and I would just like to say, it's exciting times and it's stressful times. Just talk to Jesus, talk to God. This is the time to be happy and merry, and I know a lot of people aren't. And if you're like that, you can call my number. I'm gonna give you my number. 258-9425. I'll be glad to talk to anybody. And then we have the support group with Denver Nobles and Roseland Nobles. If y'all would like to find that out, y'all could. If y'all don't get my number, call AOC and ask them to give me a message, and they always do. And